once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott. And greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, and I am truly just feeling blessed and excited, happy to be here. Happy Wednesday to you all. Blessings and gratitude to all of you who are already here. Sincerely, it is time, Mr. Murphy, and hope you are all doing well. From Frank Monday. Austin, I've lived my entire life for this moment. It is how I feel, right? And this, I love this, Frank. Matter of fact, I'm going to swing back to that one later, Frank. There's something else I wanted to get to. Where was that? Mr. E, Master E. Anyone else smiling? I sure am. I really am. And no, the angry looping, dude, that's with you, life. I saw your comment, your recent comment. You're just looking for my attention, and the angry looping, that's clearly in your mind. Brothers and sisters, here today, I'm feeling inspired. I've got a bunch of notes, a bunch of ideas again, and I'm going to do my best. I hope to do my best to clearly articulate and share, to offer. Right? To offer what is inspiring me, what is moving me to feel pretty good today on January 21st, 2026. Man, we'll get into the dates and the times and the seasons in a little bit here. The topic today in the background is the reminder of peace. Peace is who I am. Peace is what I stand for. Live without fear. That is a way to peace. And happy Wednesday. This idea on success. Success is focusing the full power of all you are on what you have a burning desire to achieve. Man, that is some truth. You find a goal that gives you life. Well, you find a goal that fills you. Finding a goal, a greater purpose, it can ignite your spirit, right? There's a spirit of you that energizes you or drains you. But if you've got a goal and a greater purpose, and you get your mind and heart aligned on that, man, this spirit ignites with you. It's like it starts as a spark, and then it starts to warm a little bit more, and then it just kind of overtakes. Comes and goes. That spirit within you, when you've got a goal and a greater purpose before you, that spirit can lead you and carry you to your success. But the only way to have that goal, to have that greater purpose, is to find clarity. Clarity and commitment, those are keys. I mean, it's pretty simple, pretty obvious. The way that logic unfolds and puts things together, it's just a mystery. Life is a mystery. Whoa. A little loud there. Sorry about that. It is the best 21st of 26 ever. Blessed day to you and to everybody. Today, the idea, where are the awakened? Where are those who have awakened to the idea of a greater purpose? Where are those who have awakened for success, not just for themselves, but for the greater world? Actually, the success for the greater world, that's in my heart. But I know that not everyone looks at things that way. They find their own success. And every one of us has our own path. Every one of us has our own vision, our own desire, and our heart and our mind. It'll lead us if we allow ourselves to pursue what our heart desires. It's really a matter of surrendering to love. I mentioned yesterday, and I know I didn't explain things as well as I hoped to. Some of these ideas about submitting to love, how love submits. I mean, when you identify what I have found, some of the patterns in this world, when you find two things that go together, they go together, right? So, love and submitting. We must submit to love to know love, right? If you don't humble yourself to receive love, you're not going to feel love. You're not going to know love. And at the same time, love will submit. Love will just step aside. It's not going to force its way into anger or fear. If you want anger or fear or sadness instead of love, well, that's what you can have. It's the way we're designed. God is so good. That's what I've realized. God is so good in everything. And if you can find the good, it'll lead you to God, and God will lead you to the good. Those two go together as well. There's so many things that go together. Like yesterday, responsibility and self-empowerment. When you focus on your self-empowerment, you're accepting responsibility. When you're accepting responsibility, you are becoming more empowered. Cooperation and communication. In order to communicate, there must be some cooperation. One person speaks, one person listens, another person speaks, another person listens. Cooperation and communication, they go together. We live in this world of duality. It's all cause and effect. You find the cause, you find the effect. You find the effect, you find the cause. You find the problem, you find the solution. You find the solution, you may have a problem or not. Um, Maybe I took that too far. Today, some of the ideas I was thinking about regarding where are the awakened? Awakened to what? What would one awaken to? What does that mean? Well, 7 years ago today, on January 1st, 2019, seems to me it seems to me about that time, it was Martin Luther King Jr. weekend. And I had been out for, it was either the Martin Luther King Day parade, or it was the Indigenous Peoples Parade, or the Women's March. We had three of those, 3 different days all in one weekend, 7 years ago in Spokane. I remember that weekend well because it was a busy weekend. And on this day, after one of the walks, I went to one of my favorite cafes, a little vegan bakery, Boots Bakery. For those who happen to swing through Spokane, Boots Bakery is a great place to eat. I stopped in there and I met the local chapter president of Veterans for Peace. And by the time I had met these folks, I'd already been waking up to things in the world. I knew things in the world were not the way that I thought. I didn't understand history as well as I do now. And discovering the local chapter of Veterans for Peace, other men and women who had served the military like I did, they helped educate me, right? Helped me learn different things about American history that I didn't really know in my past. And they opened my mind and heart a little bit more. And when I discovered Veterans for Peace and what that organization stood for, and for those who haven't checked it out, especially if you're a veteran, if you served our nation in any uniform capacity, right, especially in the armed forces, the military, in the link of in the description of every one of my live streams is a link to Veterans for Peace, World Without Wars, Code Pink, About Face, all of these peace organizations. I encourage you to check out Veterans for Peace if you've served. Okay. The mission of that organization is to educate our neighbors, educate everybody's neighbors, everybody's children into the true costs and the true atrocities of war so that wars can end, right? Education is the way to break militarization. We must educate ourselves out of conflict. It's really that simple. It really is that simple. Only those without the awareness resort to violence. Only those without awareness of alternatives, without awareness of peaceful methods, that's who resorts to violence. I used to be that way. Growing up, I thought you had to fight to get what you wanted, right? This world of society, that's what I was taught as a little boy. Um, but I was considering earlier today, what will save this world? Well, hey, my friend, this is what I kind of found. His story, yeah, the past is not what I learned in school. I didn't learn what really happened. I didn't learn how our society got to this point. I thought it was this fairy tale where most of the past was pretty good, but it turned out no, the past was pretty friggin' ugly. Um, hey, and Edward Cam, there's actually a lot of veterans taking up that cause, and depending how things go today, depending on how things go today, I've got a lot of things to share and a recent clip, a recent happening about veterans taking up that cause. There was saw something just right before I got started. Someone sent me a reel. There were some veterans recently in Washington D.C. In front of the Capitol steps again. Presenting a little voice, saying, "Hey, yeah, we serve, but speaking to others who are actively serving, it's time for the world to change." And this is what's going to bring the change. There are many who have awakened to alternatives to what has been going on. um, Sorry, I keep getting distracted. The club of the awakened ones has shrunk drastically in the last few generations. I'm not sure. I am striving to join this group of human beings that have reached the pinnacle of what a human being can be. Amen. We are on that path. Let's help each other. Let's help each other join this group. Become the human beings that reach the pinnacle of what a human being can be. Right? We'll lift each other up. We'll pull each other along. We'll help each other get to the pinnacle. What does it mean to be a greater human being than we were in the past? I think this is a great way, Frank. Thank you. It's the best way to get it done. Spread the message of love and peace among the soldiers. Spread the word. Personally, one of my goals as a YouTube guy, doggone it, I just remembered something I forgot to do today as a YouTube guy. One of the things I've been wanting to do as a YouTube guy and on this path is to try and come up with a short little message to our men and women and on active duty. I think it'd be a great time to get a message to the ICE agents too, right? They're people. They're people behind the badges and the masks. They got families and neighbors and mortgages and all this other crap. Um, where was I going? I'm kind of bouncing around here. I hope it's coming through a little bit. My first observations earlier, I'm looking at the news and looking at the World Economic Forum and the speeches of these powerful people, and where is it? Davos, whatever it's called. And I'm seeing the insanity in this society. What's going on with America, Donald Trump, the oligarchy, Palantir, BlackRock, the Rothschilds. I mean, it's just a never ending fiasco here on earth. And I'm really wondering, What will save this world? It's going to take God. The only thing that'll save this world is God. God is love. The only thing that'll save this world is love. Where are we, with God or without God? Where are we, with love or without love? For if we are with love and we are with God, then what can be against us? Truly. I mean, seems to me that there's words written in the Bible similar to that. It seems to me a lot of the things I say, there's words similar to what I'm saying in the Bible. Hey, Brother Austin, I remember that too. I thought it was interesting. We had chaplains in the military. I don't know if the chaplain is, I assume the chaplain is trained to murder. Yeah, murder is sin. But see, many of the Christians and other, not just Christians, many of the religions have been taught to obey and comply with the state, to defend the state, and then they justify war. But I remember I had a tough time believing in a chaplain, someone who claimed to be on the side of God while they're in the service. However, similar to medics who are in the service, they're trained to murder too, but they're also trained to save. And perhaps that's a similar role to the chaplain. Chaplain is there to try and to save the souls and save the hearts of those who continue. Internal orgasms. I had some incredible muscle releases, right? Undoing some knots in the back and in my hips and in my legs. So not necessarily to the orgasmic level where I was just, but it felt pretty good. It did feel pretty good, man. Why not open a massage clinic for ICE on the sidewalk outside of the protest? And while they get their massages, you can share your messages at the same time. Yeah, no. Here, you know what? What was my other points here? Here, back to the ideas. What can save this world? Love can save this world. Where are we? Where are we in this equation? Do we have to wait for love to save us? Do we have to wait for God to save us? No. We unite ourselves with God. We unite ourselves with love. And guess what? We need no more saving. We are saved. That's the salvation. You save yourself when you turn to God. You save yourself when you turn to love. For when you turn to love, the rest of the world disappears. And in my experience, take these words for more than just what it appears. Love is not found in the world. Okay? The reminder of love, the catalyst of love, the spark of love can be ignited from the world, but the love is from beyond the world. Okay? So if you unite with love, you move beyond the world. And in this world, there are good forces and there are evil forces. Those things are true. In the world, there is good and evil. Okay, but when you move beyond the good and bad, the good and evil, you move into that which is. And where you go to that which is, it is only God, right? For it is God that allows the evil, it allows the good. These forces have been affecting and manipulating mankind for eternity, perhaps, right? Eons, ages, generations, at least a couple thousand years, for even in the scriptures, for those who follow the Bible and the words of Jesus. He spoke about these things. The evil that was here, that he faced within himself and around in the world, right? He faced temptations. He faced doubts. He prayed that, the Father remove this cup from me. He prayed that things might change from what he saw of his path, but He humbled himself to love. And by humbling himself to love, and he overcame the world. And that's what God showed us. God showed us how to do that. Are you going to do the same things today you said yesterday you will never do again? You're not being very clear, Ascended Views. You're not making any sense. I'd be happy to answer your question, but your question seems pretty loaded. So I assume you're more loaded with, you're more focused on your opinions than my answers. So if you actually want an answer, we'll figure it out. Back to where I was going. What can save this world? God will save this world. God is love. Love will save this world. Where are we? Those who are awakened to love, those who are willing to go through the dark night of the soul. I don't know if we have a willingness or not. Each of us gets carried through it at some point, I'm sure. The dark night of the soul is when the mind panics, right? As our heart starts to awaken to the light of God, to the greater truth, to the powers that are beyond just ourselves. As our spirit starts to awaken and the light starts to ignite within us, it raises the darkness, the shadows that we've been denying. It raises those from our subconscious into our conscious. So each of us, as we go through our own path of personal development, growing in consciousness and emotional intelligence, and growing as an authentic human being, we've got to resolve the things from the past and let go of the childish ways and the old habits. But what is true is the mind panics when language goes silent. When we don't have the words, the mind gets a little frantic, right? But if you think about that, what is it when the language goes silent? What is it when the mind goes silent? You're without language, you're simply with presence. Okay, and that is the act of meditation. Mindfulness is to be presence, to be the loving awareness that is the presence of you, right? Let your presence be with loving awareness. Become loving awareness as you, so that you're not the identity of you, the idea of you. It requires all the language, all the beliefs. The identity that became you, the idea that you are you. Like I had the idea I was Jack, and Jack was a bunch of different things, right? Jack was a worker, and Jack was a postal employee, and Jack was a union guy, and Jack was an alcoholic, and Jack was a dad, and Jack was this, and Jack was that. And all these things created what I had to do. They created my limitations, my rules, my values, all by these little definitions and words. But once the world showed me, no, Jack, you're not an employee, you're not a dad, you're not a friend, you're not this, you're not that. I was like, whoa, who am I? And my mind panicked. I didn't understand these things, but now I've got a different perspective now that I've been through these things. And my hope is to share what I've gained with you, whoever you are. And if it's not for you, it's not for you. But there's someone out there that these words can help. There's someone out there that this is for. Okay. I have faith in that. As I went through my own experience of the dark night of the soul, and there's a history to that I learned of recently too. I don't remember the details of how it came to be known as that or what it's about, but I think we've heard it enough. It's common talk in what my experience at least. It's in line with the words from the Bible about one must be reborn in order to live. In order to be reborn, you must die. The old identity must die. You must allow your identity to be with the world. You don't need the world if you're with God. But if you're with God, you're for the world. So be for the world. Be for the greater world with God so that God is for you. Love is for you when you are for the world, the greater world. You give yourself, but not in a way that hurts. You give yourself as though you want to give yourself, as though it's really the only thing for you to do. And that's what I'm hoping to do. I hope to give of myself each day. So I try to be pretty consistent with these live streams. And the hope is if I keep improving myself and I keep trying to give to the world will find a way to receive it. Some of these ideas regarding our identity, the identity that we've created, the belief of who we think we are, who that we think we've become, that identity is really only for the world. And if you're at this point in your life where you feel like things aren't making sense and it just the ways of the past, they're not working anymore, and you're getting frustrated, and maybe even you're really feeling tired, just tired of living. I've been there too. And I've heard testimonies from many others. I know there's a lot of people who feel tired of living. They're worn out, feeling beat up, they're rejected, they're just given up. The end of an identity, that is the dark night of the soul. Okay, the dark night of the soul is the feeling, it's the impending doom of that identity fading away. The end of an identity, it can feel exactly like an impending death. And the idea of an impending death, it attracts many. I mean, veteran suicide rates in this nation, and not just this nation, the, the rates of suicide of those who have served is a real crisis in this world right now. There's so many people in this world who are just, they're crying out and they don't know where to turn and they don't know what to do. But one thing I learned for myself is I can't quit. I can't give up. I wanted to, and for whatever reason, God spared me. God saved me. I wasn't allowed to die or to quit when I wanted to die and when I wanted to quit. And so I figured, well, if that's not going to work, well, I better figure out how to live. And if I'm going to live without wanting to die, well, I better figure out how to live a different way. It just seems to make sense, right? Hello. You follow the logic and things make sense. But if you get caught up on just one idea, you get trapped, you get confused. And if you get yourself trapped and confused and you're boxed in, you don't know any way out, well, really simple answers, right? However, if you can work yourself into the comfort of knowing, okay, these feelings that I'm feeling that I don't want to continue, maybe it's just an idea, maybe it's a belief of me, maybe it's an identity, maybe it's a habit of me that needs to fade. Then you realize it's not necessarily you that needs to go. It's not the personality of you, it's the identity of you, the idea of you that needs to change. Because I mentioned earlier, the mind panics when language goes silent. But without language, you have presence. And presence without thought, I mean, practice it. And actually, I've got an exercise maybe I can bring up. We'll see where the stream goes today. But presence without thought, if you're just here in the moment, absent of labels, absent of definitions, absent of agendas or urgencies, you're just here and you're now and you're breathing and you're being. What is with you is the awareness, right? You don't lose your awareness of being. You don't lose your awareness of you and what's around you. You're just with the awareness. And that awareness, without agenda, without label, without words, it really is, it's the loving awareness of God. Now, the loving awareness of God is infinite. It is way beyond you, way beyond me. I don't claim to know God's limits. I don't claim to know God's awareness, right? I just claim to know what I feel. And what I've learned is that the limited, the finite is you and me. We are finite. We are limited. We have a beginning. We have an ending, at least in this form, right? In this biology, in this biological technology that allows us to move and to experience life and time, consciousness and awareness. It really is a miracle. Life is such a miracle, guys. How does it happen? Nobody knows how it happens. We just know that it is. And then we try and explain how things are, but we don't know. Nobody knows. Nobody knows but God. So why don't we try aligning with God? Wouldn't that be a great idea if the world tried to unite, at least together? Because maybe we can't see God entirely, but we can see each other. We can see the world. We can see men and women starving. We can see men and women being murdered by legal means. Legal means. It's inhumane. The world is sick and twisted, but let's be with God. Let's choose to be with God, to become the awakened, right? What is success? Awakening for success is part of the title. I tell you, you align with God, let that be your success. Let love be your success. Let the greatest love, the greatest truth, let those things be success. And then let those define themselves. You'll figure it out as you go. I bounced around on a lot of topics. I got a lot of things to say today, I'm sure, but let me see. I'm going to jump back to some of the chat. I don't know where to go because sometimes people talking to me and sometimes people haven't been talking to me. If anything is coming up, I will ask you to hit me up again. Jack has studied more Yodas today. Maybe Yoda studied from me. Hey, thank you, man. Life doesn't allow us to keep going. I'm yes. All right. You know what? I'm going to drop the link. I've got some other promotions and things I want to share. Some of them are in the description, some of them are not. I'm going to drop the link and open it up for those who are present to share respectful time. Okay? That is part of the requirement. If you're going to join the link, if you're going to click the panel, respect is a requirement. It's not an option. And I get to be the judge. Simple as that. I consider myself reasonable. And if I feel like I'm wrong, then I'll correct it. But for those who wish to join, please feel free. Thank you. God is an infinite sphere. Thank you. That was something I wanted to come back to, Frank. Thank you for reminding me. God is an infinite sphere whose center is everywhere and circumference nowhere. Hermes Trismegistus. That is true wisdom. And it seems I heard that a long time ago. And I considered the concept. And if you just consider the concepts of that, a sphere with a center that's everywhere and a circumference that's nowhere, in a way that is with us. We are each of us is in the center of the universe. And that means that God is with us in that, in my opinion. I don't know which one you mean. Here. And then there's something else. There. Praise God, the Most High. And Sam, thank you. I think maybe you and many others have been recommending I do this for quite a while, that I help raise the standard of what I allow, I guess. Thank you. Some of the things I wanted to promote. I did a post yesterday. It's actually a repost, but in my community posts, right under Jack Talcott and under the post, I got a repost of our friend MPC the Game, Gabriel Carbo Games. I forgot to mention it yesterday. We're coming up, I believe, this Saturday night. So just a couple days away. There is going to be the second annual Panelverse Live Streamer Awards, an annual awards show dedicated to the Panelverse live streamers. I am a part of this, right? And so there's a number of different categories, a number of nominees. I'll encourage you, check out the post. I'm included in here potentially under most shocking live stream moment with Jack in front of the Capitol steps. I think I'm listed. I think the best educational live streamer, I believe that's already been voted for, and I was bumped out of that. But then I'm also included here in most inspirational streamer, and one more I thought, where was that? Most inspirational, and I thought like spiritual. Yeah. Educational, inspirational, and spiritual. Those are the parts where Jack Talcott is included in. So please, I encourage you, check out the link for MPC the Game, give him a subscribe, check out the nominations, and in addition, tonight is there. Tonight, after in about an hour and a half, close to that, is the another part, the nominees. I think it may go more into that. So the link for this stream is in the description of my live stream. Okay. If you're interested, click the link, subscribe. That way you can catch that. And my intention is for us to forward over. Should we run that long? If he starts before we're done, we're going to send over that way to share some support. What else did I want to share with that? That actually might have been it for the beginning. I do have some I did have a couple of clips that I considered sharing too. If there is interest in the ideas of self-confidence, right? Some tips on how to grow confidence. And then what was the other one? Oh, the other one was kind of what I was talking about earlier, regarding being with presence without thought, being able to, be present and not worry about labeling and naming and identifying everything. To try and paint a picture. I remember as a kid, right, when I was learning to read, traveling down the road or in the school bus or in the back of the car, and all these signs, right? I was constantly reading the signs, reading everything, and I'd hear it being read in my mind. And I developed this pattern that I never realized I was doing. I was constantly labeling things and naming things. And that labeling things and naming things turned into judging things. And I developed this inner dialogue that just would not stop. And I didn't know how to shut my mind off. I didn't even realize it was a problem. I just thought it was normal because this is what I grew up with. I always had this stuff in my head. But later, when I found myself seeking change within me, I started looking into the practices of meditation, explanations of meditation, ideas of mindfulness. And that's where I started recognizing, hey, you don't have to live with a monkey mind. You don't have to live with this constant chatter that's nonstop, keeps you up at night, where you got to drink just to escape the noise. You don't have to live that way. It comes down to breaking habits. Breaking habits are the way we grow. Please vote for Jack if you can in the awards, or at least, if anything, you know what? Support the awards. Support the awards, if you will. Thank you, Frank. Hey, did you make it? Are you on there too? Yes, good for you. I was actually surprised. Our friend OTW is on there a whole bunch. He's got a whole bunch of anyway. Where was I going? Tommy could get the spirit. He got banned from here yesterday, and I don't think Tommy is going to be welcome back for a while. I'm not sure how to get him. Truther, welcome to you, my friend. How are you, bro?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. What do you got?
So, interesting tie into the whole, what's his face, Jake? We were talking about him the other day. So, BC Preacher, I just found out he's in Minneapolis. He was also with the People's Convoy, and now he's in Minneapolis as well. This is another new streamer. And he actually caught an interview with the guy who was defending, the guy that was protecting what's his face up on the stage, and asked him why he protected him.
Is this the Muslim guy?
No, it's the black dude. Remember when Jake Lang was up there and the two dudes were up there, like, I told you they were protecting him? This is one of those guys, apparently. He's got an interview about why he was protecting him. I haven't seen it yet.
Hey, it's only a couple minutes. Let's check it out. So for those who missed it, there was recently with the climate in Minneapolis regarding the ICE deployment and the violence that's been going on, there's been a lot of protests and counter protests. And in a recent stream, we shared some information. It's made national news too, regarding that guy, Jake Lang, who showed up. He was formerly one of the J6 guys who got pardoned and showed up as a counter protester to promote ICE and to be an anti-Islam, to make an anti-Islam statement, as I understood. So really trying to be an agent of provocation. There's another term for that. But so in that, he was, he had people around him, keeping him alive, keeping him safe. So this is apparently one of those gentlemen. Let's see what this is.
What made you get up there and stand next to Jake Lang after everything that he's done said?
Because, hold up. No, I don't need no mask. I got to put on these.
The stunning shades.
No, yeah, it's not stunning shades. It's more so of a lens, right? It's a lens I see out of that nobody can see. I don't know how, I just can, right? Divine entity. Now, at the end of the day, my job.
Way to be fucking brave and trying to fucking do something.
Yeah, my job, my purpose on earth, and my spirit told me I'm the son of God, right? A lot of people gonna think I'm lying. And I just showed you again. It shows you again that I don't have to lie, but I move off love and unity. And that's how Jesus walked. If y'all Christians, that's how Yahweh walked. If y'all Africans and y'all roots, Yahweh walked just showing love regardless of what somebody did to you. When they crucified them on the cross, he still forgave everybody for their sins. And they damn near killed them. So it's like we can't treat hate with hate. Love overcome hate any day. When one motherfucker starts showing love, everybody show love. But if one person hate, everybody hate. It's a domino effect, just like a domino. That's that. But it was my job and my purpose. We stole his watch. Hey, let me see the watch. Hey, let me see the watch. Hey, watch this. Hey, come here. Hey, someone come here, Mello. Hey, check it out. You, come here. Yeah, you, yeah. Yeah, so look, keep that on. At the end of the day, this what he came. I don't know what this shit is. A fake ass what they call these watches? Out of my boutique. The world is fake. You hear me? All this shit is fake. Stop paying y'all money for this shit. You feel me? But that's the end of that, man. At the end of the day, just show love to anybody. No matter what they done to you, just show love. You're gonna get blessed. Hey, I don't even know you. That's how deep it's gonna get. I'm gonna leave it at this. I'm very deep, right? So we go back all the way down to slavery, right? My last name is Blackwell, and Blackwell was the first slave owner to ever own a slave. He was white. Now I'm gonna go back to this to show you. He's my brother. He's my brother. You know what I mean? Regardless of the color, he's my brother. Through slavery, his people fucked my people. Babies is a generational thing, bro. We're family. At the end of the day.
To be fair, I'm Scandinavian.
Oh my God!
You ain't do it personally. We ain't gonna put that on him. But like humans, I'm gonna say humans. Don't put a race on the humans.
Hey, have a good one, brother.
Same to you, bro.
Smash that like and follow button.
Wow, I didn't expect it to go that way. Wow.
That was interesting. For those who are interested, there's the link in the chat, please. Fascinating. So, well, I got what his message is. What I believe he was trying to communicate is he looked out for another human being because he wants to serve God. And that's what I got.
Yeah, very much. Yeah. That or he's an inside Fed. I can't tell which one.
Based on the actions are what matters, right? And the reality is this question, where are the awakened? The reason I'm asking the question too is what will change this world? My idea is let's get some people who are awakened, right? Who are awakened and aware of the state of the world. Some men and women who can have conscious thoughts, right? Without being reactive, without being dishonest. People who can actually articulate truth with reason and care. If we get some awakened people together, conscious people together, we get enough people together, we can face the world problems and we can work together to solve them. Where are the awakened? Where do we find them? That's really what I'm hoping to see. I think we lost Truther. Hey, thank you for bringing that, an update to the other information. I mean, we're every day there's, what's the terms, right? Every day there's a new fire being promoted. There's a new story being sold. It's a lot of it is just to capture your attention and get you moving, get you redirected one direction into another, so you don't put the pieces together. Because if you start putting the pieces together, or you find the evidence of other people who have put the pieces together, you don't buy into the garbage anymore. I kind of feel that's where I've been blessed. God has allowed me to find enough people out there. I didn't put the pieces together myself. I discovered people who spent years spent decades studying, researching, capturing the evidence, putting things together, learning how to tell a story and put the pieces together so it can be understood. Documentaries, lectures, books, all sorts of information is there. But if you don't look for something, you're not going to find it. And not all of us know what to look for. I never know what to look for. I never did know what to look for, but I found things that I wanted to know. And I wanted to know, why is the corruption so prevalent? Why is there so much oppression and corruption, so public, so visible? Everybody seems that it can't be. It's not a secret. It's not a secret that we have corruption and incompetence running the United States government. So where are the awakened? Where are the conscious human beings who care? Where are the men and women who are willing to give it all, willing to stand for God, for love, to create a better world? I'm here, and I'm inviting you to join me. And you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have all the pieces. I don't claim to. But I know that the more of us that come together for this purpose of creating a better world, we're going to make it happen. And I'm still, it's been a little while since I've been reaching out because my past efforts haven't been real successful, but I believe it's time for these peace organizations and all the men and women who have had peace in their heart for all these years. It's time for us to feel a victory. And I think that's what God has planned, man. It's just the natural order of time and life. It makes sense in the bigger picture. It does make sense. Everything makes sense when you bring God into the equation. God being, God be everything. Let's be with God. Let's be with God's love. Right? Be with the greatest truth. Be with the greatest truth that is here and now. The greatest truth that is here and now that you can know is you are. And when you say I are, what you're saying is I am. And I am in the present tense. That is God. God is the I am that is ever present in the present. So align yourself to be in the presence of God. To be in the presence of love is to be one with love, is it not? And if you are with the presence of love, with the giver of love, the creator of love, the source of love, which is God in the highest sense, but it's also you, right? In your experience, you are the giver of love. You are the source of love. The answers you find, they come through you, for you, with you. But if we don't pause, and if we don't pause and allow the mind to settle, we'll allow the worldly words, right? Allow the worldly identities to take over, to keep us going, to keep us on this hamster wheel of not enough, not good enough, not ready. Oh, I can't help others because I got to fix myself. Are you fixing yourself? No, but I gotta fix myself sometime, right? I hear we're all on this path. We can all do more than we want to believe. At least that was true for me. There was many times in my life where I was working, where I was running, where I was on a hike or a march or doing whatever. There was some challenge in my life where I said, I can't do anymore. I don't want to do anymore. Turned out I could. Turned out there was always a little more. There was always something else, a little bit more I could pull from, a little bit more I could offer. I could just dig a little deeper and do more. Brothers and sisters, if you allow yourself to be with that idea, there is more. There's always more. And it doesn't have to be a burden. More is not a burden. More is an opportunity. More is a gift, right? More goodness, more power, more love, more drive, more stamina, more willingness. All of these mores is more not. Does that not lead to abundance? So I guess being aware of that, the more leads to abundance, then you need to be mindful within yourself of what are you creating more of? What are you generating more of? What are you living with more of? If it works in the positive as well as the negative, you start growing in your anger, you start growing in your fear, your despair, you're going to grow more. That's how life works. One thing just adds to another. Greetings to you, El Perro. I have a feeling that I kind of push people away. I think that's why no one's on the panel, to be honest. Well, and yesterday I did push people away. I banned some of the nonsense regulars like Mr. Snafu. Mr. Snafu will not be back on my panel. Not until the man pulls his head out of his ass, has an actual conversation with me. Right? He likes to text me in the middle of the night and send me all sorts of nasty nonsense, but it feels good not to have him here anymore. Pixel T, yes. From the panel verse. It's not just in the panel verse, but it's a great example where emotional manipulation ends, accountability begins. That is absolute truth. Within and around. I've got a thumbnail or a quote that I haven't used yet, but it's something about boastful. The boastful are manipulators. The manipulators are boastful, right? Because we get up on our high horse if we think we're something special, and we'll outsmart ourselves. We'll convince ourselves, manipulate ourselves, try to manipulate others to believe what we believe. Excuse me, Snafu, you haven't paid anything. You haven't even paid attention. So what is to be refunded, dude? You're so delusional, man. You've never started the life coach course because you've never shut up and listened. Which gets me to another path of order that I have found. In this world of fear and propaganda, world of trauma and division, people have lost the ability to trust. They've lost the willingness to trust. How about that? Ooh, and I mentioned earlier, two things go together. Loving awareness and presence without thought, those two go together. Trust and willingness, those two go together as well. Without trust, you'll create up a defense. And then with a defense, there will be a resistance. And in the resistance, it could be a conflict, a division. There's not a lot of willingness. But with trust and willingness, those two will go together. With a willingness, you can find the trust to submit. The only way you can be led is if you submit. Okay, we've got a world that doesn't know how to be led by love, doesn't know how to be led by the truth, doesn't know how to be led by God. Now I know there's exceptions, okay? Don't try not to put me in a corner and just prove me wrong, but if you can take generally, right? Generally the concept that many people in this world, the ego identity, right? The identity that I've been talking about, the identity that's created for the world so you can conform and comply and survive in this world. That identity that the world has created, the majority of people don't know how to be led by love. They don't know how to be led by wholesome, loving desires because they've grown accustomed and attached to these limitations. And I'm speaking from experience, okay? I'm including myself. I'm saying these things as though they're other people, but it's from my own personal experience. I know I'm not alone. The ego edging God out, right? That identity that Jack is, the identity of who Jack is or who I believe Jack to be, that identity is an ego. Just like you've got an ego with your name, your identity, your beliefs, your values, whatever. The ego truly edging God out. It's fair. It's that which takes over, that which says, I can do it. I don't need God. I don't need a higher power. I got this. Worked for me in the past. I'll do it again. They better do what I say because I know what's going on. The ego edges God out and thinks it knows it all. In that hubris, in that short-sightedness, and it's not intentional. People don't intend to be stupid. I know that. I realize that the majority of people don't intend to be stupid. I know the majority of people who are, what's a better word? The word that came to mind is assholes. And I know there's a better word. I don't have to swear. Whatever. The people in the world, people don't mean to be stupid. No child grows up and wants to become stupid. No child grows up, wants to grow up to be some addict. No child grows up or wants to grow up and become an asshole. It happens though. And it happens because people start believing what the world showed them. And the world is a bizarre. There's many perspectives you can see the world from, but if you go to the greatest perspective from the eyes of God, the mind of God, if you can imagine that for yourself, consider looking at the universe and all that it contains from beyond the universe and all the time, right? Beyond the limits of space and time, beyond the limits of form, beyond the limits of form and into the infiniteness of space and time. What we are experiencing it's an experience of consciousness. The body is just a technology for the consciousness to experience the universe. And as it's been said many different ways, what you and I are experiencing is the universe becoming conscious of itself. As you grow in your consciousness, your awareness, right? You grow into an awareness and a knowledge of the expansive, infinite world that is. And you only have like a narrow little field. All of us do. As human beings, we're limited in the amount of light we can see. We don't see infrared. We don't hear everything. There's energetic qualities to everything that we don't recognize. We don't see. And if you don't see it, how will you know it? You won't be aware of it if you don't see it. And sometimes if you're not aware of it, and sometimes, if you don't see it, you won't be aware of it. And you may not be aware of it. If you're not aware of it, you may not see it. It's kind of the duality of this life. I feel like I'm not really explaining myself too clearly. I hope it is coming through. But like I said, what I'm sharing, maybe it's not for everyone. I know I'm improving, and eventually the words will connect with those they need to. This, very true. This practice of choosing regulation over reaction. Regulate over react again and again. And the same folks that exhibit their trauma here online, they have major issues with self-regulation. I actually recognized I had issues with self-regulation, especially as I got involved on these online panels. I recognized it. I was seeing myself swearing and getting angry. There's video of angry Cot, and it still comes up once in a while, but this is what Pixel T is saying is absolutely true. Part of our emotional and intellectual, spiritual development, it is choosing regulation over reaction. The reaction, the reacting, reenacting, that is like karma. It's a result of things from the past. So you resolve the things from the past so you don't have to repeat it in the present. And once you stop repeating in the present, guess what? You don't deal with it in the future. It's like this beautiful game of perfect unfolding of time that God has offered us. If you don't pay attention, to what is shown to you, you might miss out on the meanings. And I know I did that for a long time. I know I missed out on the meanings. I didn't see the patterns because I was so caught up in the conflicts. And this self-accountability, it's found in the moment you recognize a trauma response and you choose presence over repetition. And here, an example of self-accountability, I recognized my invitations, my interactions with some of these folks. Cheeps, he is crying out for help. He is in desperate need. Please, I encourage everyone who cares about Snafu, encourage him. Please, encourage that man to submit, to allow himself to be led by Jack, okay? Because if he won't submit himself to being either a client or a student, if he won't shut his yap when he's with me, he just wastes both of our time. And I'm sick of listening to him crying out and complaining and blaming and all this nonsense. I actually kind of like the guy too. And he is crying out for help. And I do believe I can help the man. I actually believe that's why God brought me to him, but I can't get him to cooperate with me. And since he won't cooperate, he's never understood what I'm trying to communicate. So if anyone cares about Snafu or the world that Snafu lives in, because let's face it, if Snafu's not such an asshat, it's going to be a better place, right? We'll have more fun. I don't mean to be like that. When we recognize trauma response, I had recognized, I made this connection. Someone else pointed it out. And I heard and I listened and it just sang to my heart. Abandonment issues. Abandonment issues will cause us to, if we've got wounds, we'll attract those things that kind of, I don't know, poke the wound until we bring it to heal. It'll attract controlling people into our lives because we've got low self-worth and we'll allow ourselves to be diminished. And if we allow ourselves to be diminished, what is that? That's self-sabotage. Why would one sabotage themselves? That's what I've been doing for years. I've been sabotaging myself by entertaining arguments with fools. How wise is a man to argue with fools every day? Well, that's me. Greg, this reticulating activation system, I don't remember, the RAS in the brain. Yes, the MC of the grand show of our mind. That is, geez. Please and thank you. Snafu, please humble yourself, dude. All right. And please thumbs up for the video. It's not hard. Once you do it, you don't have to do it again. Thank you, Venus. Appreciate that. For people with past trauma, submission can reenact helplessness rather than heal it. It depends on what we submit to. Yes. Submissiveness. If we just become submissive, we can repeat past helplessness. I think what I'm trying to communicate, the idea of submitting to love, submitting to, when I say love, it's unconditional love. Okay. It's love without limits. It's infinite love. Submitting to infinite love and submitting to the truth of that which is. But actually, with people with past trauma like Snafu, if he would submit to receiving some help, to receiving support, he'd find greater power. How to cooperate. I'm being abandoned by Jack like his family abandoned him. Huh. This, I agree. Take the leap of faith, Snafu. God led you to me for a reason. I'm telling you. Telling you the truth. Surrender and align. Surrender and align. Surrender to the present moment of being. Submit to the infinite ideas, the infinite possibilities of you, for you. This is what I've been working on too. If you can allow your mind to expand, that's kind of the idea, to break beyond the identities, to break beyond the egoic limitations. You travel your mind, right? You push past your ideas of what can't be done, what you can't understand, what you can't do. You move past that because you drop the language. You allow the mind to go, you allow the language to go silent, right? So that you are without language, but you're with the present. And in the present and the presence, you're with the presence of God, you're with the presence of the I am, you're with the loving awareness of you, right? The loving awareness of you as you're with the loving awareness of the world around you. You are the loving awareness that you see. You are the loving awareness that you get to be. And so with this awareness of love, that's when you can move past into the infinite of ideas. And if you'll allow yourself to travel into the realm of infinite ideas, be there with me, please. Be there with the infinite ideas in all the realm of possibilities. If God is real, then everything is possible. Anything is possible with God. So be with God and believe that anything is possible. And if anything is possible here on earth, then believe that we can be those who are awakened. If you are awakened to the world and you see the injustice in the world, then become the cause of the solution. There's many out there who have chosen to become a cause of the problem, and they're living with the problems and spreading problems. But just as fear and problems can be shared, love and solutions can too, baby. Love and solutions can be shared. Confidence can be shared. Did you know that? Did you know your confidence could be shared? I mean, if your fear can be shared, your confidence can be shared. Why not? So why not focus on sharing that? Share the good shit, man. Share the good shit. That's what life is about. Peace without honesty is quiet resentment. That's an interesting observation. Yeah, without honesty, what do we have? Corruption. I might consider that one a little bit more. Peace to you, my friend. Snafu, if you feel violated, it's because of the thoughts in your head, man. And if you've got thoughts in your head that cause you to feel violated, ask yourself why you want to feel like a victim. Why do you want to feel like a victim with me, Snafu? That doesn't make sense because I'm trying to be a friend to you. I really am. And it's not just you. Here's where I'm at. I'm feeling at peace and I'm feeling whole. There's a video I kind of want to share regarding confidence. It's in my mind. And actually, he might say that confidence can be shared too. This Chase Hughes, I've mentioned him before. I've shared some of his stuff before. I am a fan of what he offers. And awakening for success. Awakening for success means inviting in some confidence. I think I am. I'm going to play some of this and let's see how it goes.
Real self-confidence. This is the kind that moves entire rooms of people. It is the kind of confidence that makes people desire to follow your lead before you even open your mouth. This is mammalian confidence. Keep this in your brain. Confidence is not a trait, it's a skill. It is programmable, it is buildable, it is transferable across every area of life. And most of all, true confidence is contagious.
I was muted. Sorry about that. He's going to get more into how confidence can be contagious and shared. But he already pointed out that if you have confidence, if you can identify confidence, where you do have confidence in your life, in one aspect of your life, that confidence can be carried over into other parts of your life, right? Maybe you've got insecurities in relationships or finances, but you're very confident in other areas, right? You can carry these things over once you grasp the awareness and once you capture once you capture the benefit and the value that you've got, it can be transferred into other areas. So here, back to confidence and how it can be contagious.
And most of all, true confidence is contagious. Most people define confidence the wrong way. They think that it means I feel amazing about myself all the time and I'm on top of other people. Confidence is a generalized expectation of positive or manageable outcomes. So it's not perfect outcomes, not guaranteed outcomes, just that whatever happens, you've got it covered. You're going to be good. Just having this expectation is your new internal compass. And the more you live like that's true, the more that your entire nervous system is going to adapt to that like it's your entire baseline. So if you've been waiting for some kind of permission to feel confident, social permission, evidence that you're ready, then all I can say is, I am sorry to say, you are still in the psyop and it is working perfectly. That voice in your head telling you you're not there yet. You're not good enough. You need to fix more things before you step forward. That voice is not yours. It was installed in you. But the real you, the sovereign you just haven't given yourself permission to access that voice yet.
That was something I realized for myself. That was very true. Part of my testimony, I ended up with this live without fear message I suspect because I lived so many years with fear. It was something I know intimately and I know well. What he's talking about with confidence, it's what I found out for myself too. Initially, my idea of confidence was a memory, right? It was a memory of past successes. That's how I defined it. And so if I can remember past successes, even though they're in a different field, a different area of my life, if I can focus on having past successes and knowing that, hey, I can be okay. Even in the bad outcomes, I can still be okay. Well, that gives me confidence. And that's all it really is. The lack of confidence comes from the worldly conditionings, what the world has taught us. But who we truly are is infinite and sovereign and free. So here, back to Chase.
Just haven't given yourself permission to access that voice yet. So step one, be radically self-forgiving. Most people try to build confidence, but they're carrying shame for their past. If you're trying to build an unshakable belief in yourself, you have to become delusionally self-forgiving. Self-forgiveness is not weakness. It is access, because no one can perform while secretly punishing themselves.
No one can perform while secretly punishing themselves. And that forgiveness, it is access. It's accessing your uncorrupted spirit. It really is magical, the way that everything is designed. I might be interrupting this too much. I dropped the link, and I'll put it in the description later for those who are watching later. I encourage you to check it out for yourself. But here.
Because forgiving. Self-forgiveness is not weakness. It is access. Because no one can perform while secretly punishing themselves. Real confidence only lives in a body that feels safe with itself. Confidence is not who you are. It's who you decide to become at first. It becomes who you are later, but it's who I decide in this moment. And after that, it's just a habit. You don't need to feel confident. You need to step into the right role. R-O-L-E. It's about roles. So confidence gives us access to behaviors we had no idea that we even possessed. If you see a firefighter run into a burning building, they're not doing it as Joe from the gym. They're doing it as I am a firefighter. The role is what gives you permission. The permission gives you composure, and the composure gives you power.
The role gives you composure, and the composure gives you power. And that makes sense. I mean, I never thought about it with the idea of confidence coming from a role. But in a way, it was absolutely true for me. When I was a union guy, starting out, got real nervous at first talking to the bosses and the authority. But I knew that I couldn't do that as a union leader. I had to face it with confidence. And so the role actually helped me gain some inner fortitude. And, I put that hat on, and then I eventually got to the point where, hell, I'll take on anybody, right? My own union stories, but here, we'll go back to this.
Gives you a fighter. The role is what gives you permission. The permission gives you composure, and the composure gives you power. If you're still trying to earn your confidence through external validation, allow me to lovingly call that exactly what it is. It's emotional subcontracting. You are outsourcing your self-belief and your self-esteem and probably some of your identity to somebody else's reaction, and it's probably people that you don't know. Or worse, you're outsourcing it to consensus. If I open this door to where positive comments online make me feel good about who I am and help me to develop confidence and self-esteem, that's the exact same door that's open for the negative stuff. Confidence doesn't come after you feel ready. It comes because you move without it. You
Confidence doesn't come, what was it?
doesn't come after you feel ready.
After you feel ready. You got to move without confidence in order for confidence to become normal. And that is the truth. You got to step into your uncomfort to expand your comfort zone. I've been doing that myself, and these things, I'm telling you, I find these things to be true.
Open for the negative stuff. Confidence doesn't come after you feel ready. It comes because you move without it. You do not need the world's permission to act like you belong. And that's when you become dangerous, because you are no longer programmable. So forget the hype bullshit that you read online about how to have confidence because you stand up straight, you make good eye contact. Total bullshit. So confidence is not about volume. It isn't charisma. It's not dominance. Confidence is about safety and composure. And that composure gives a rise to something deeper than confidence, which is authority. When you enter a room and your body says, I have nothing to prove, people lean into this. No one is coming to knight you and give you some seal of permission to feel confident. You don't need that. The only permission that matters is internal. This is the permission to decide you are built for this, or I am built for this. If you want to be persuasive, if you want to lead, if you really want to move people and have influence and persuasion in the world, confidence is not optional. It is tradecraft. Confidence can never be reactive. It has to be engineered. I forgive myself fast and forever with no
I forgive myself fast and forever with no exceptions. I tell you what, for those with low self-worth, that can be a tough sell. But if you're dealing with low self-worth, that's exactly the path to go. Radical acceptance, extreme acceptance in yourself, to forgive yourself so that you can heal yourself and fix yourself. It's through God that it happens, but it's this is the path.
Exceptions. I choose roles with intention. I will never wait for social permission or evidence. That all comes from inside of me. I regulate before I perform. My confidence is a habit, not a tactic.
Amen.
Finally, I give myself full authority because no one else has the ability to.
Amen.
Go out there and prove nothing.
Go out there and prove nothing, right? But let confidence be a habit for you, right? And confidence, what is confidence? It's not the absence of fear. It's the ability. It's like courage. It really is. It's the ability to know that you're going to be okay, even though there's uncertainty, even though there may be pain. Finding the courage and the confidence to allow yourself to be different than who you were, it allows you to grow. Until each of us is willing to admit, hey, maybe I was wrong, we're not going to change. And we've got a world of today where people are, they're confident in what they think, but not in what they know, right? And what is known, I believe, is found in the heart, because it's the heart that carries, the energy of who we are. And there's a direct connection between your mind, your heart, and the spirit of you, the energetic quality of you that is greater than you. That energetic spirit and quality of you, it leads to the divine version of you. And the most high divine version of you, it's God, man. Look in the mirror. Can you see God? Can you see the work of God in your eyes? Can you see the work of God, the craftsmanship in who you are. Have you lost sight of it? Have you lost sight of the goodness, of the energy and the quality of love, of truth, of authenticity, of forgiveness and compassion, of holiness and divinity, right? The real qualities of humanity are in what is humane. What is humane is good, it's compassionate, it's kind, it's goodness, it's honorable, right? We live in a world that truly is, it's been run and manipulated by very evil forces. And there are people in this world who selectively, they consciously choose to seek out knowledge and incentive from the evil forces. The evil forces that may be beyond the material form of this world. I mean, I truly lean towards the idea of God, so it means I don't deny the aspect of the devil. Okay? The idea that evil exists, it is real. There are evil forces that have been manipulating mankind for a long time. Okay? But it's my interpretation of the early prophets, right? The prophecies of the return of Jesus, the return of the Messiah. And it's not just in the biblical or Abrahamic traditions, it's in many of the different cultures. The idea of this transformation, this energetic transformation of mankind is waiting. It is waiting right now, today, brothers and sisters. We have the opportunity here on earth at this time to rewrite the rules before we go. Once we're gone, it's done, right? Our influence in this world is done once we're gone. So why don't we create some positive influences in the world while we're here? I mean, it's easy to say, yeah, I'll get to that, but I got to do this job and I got to do that job and I got to earn some more money and then I got to pay this off and then I got to go study this and they got to tell me this and they got to sell me this. And we can keep putting it off lifetimes, in fact. But if you awaken yourself, invite your heart to awaken to excitement. Awaken your heart into the idea of anticipation and hope, and really that the quality, the idea that anything is possible until it's proven not to be possible. But who's going to be the judge of what is or is not possible other than time? Allow time to be the truth. Allow time to be allow time to be with you. Be with the time that you are. Be whole with the time that you are, which is now, right? Be true to now, in the present, in the here. Wherever you go, you are. So be with that. Be with who you are in the present. The past brought you there, right? And the future is waiting for you to find it. But every fear we have is an imagination of the future, predictably. Every guilt and shame, anger we carry is typically a result of memories, right? But the past doesn't exist beyond our memory. The future doesn't exist beyond our imagination. The only time that we are is in this breath, in the here and now. And in the breath of the here and now, it requires no language. It requires no words. It simply requires the presence of your being. So as cause and effect, two things are one. Allow your presence to be and allow your being to be present. I hope this is making sense. Hey, we've got a guest here, and let me bring this up. Welcome to you, Landry. How you doing today?
Where are the awakened?
That is the question.
Where did they go?
I do
I
not
can't find
know.
them.
They are out there. We are that.
We are Awake TV.
He disappeared too, didn't he?
He pops in with some weird stuff every now and then, like a weird selfie, but yeah.
I haven't talked to Ian for quite a while.
Yeah.
Or checked in on him. The idea of where are the awakened? It's the solution for the world. I can see we get some people who are awakened to solutions and we start working together, or even awakened to the problems. If we just have the heart for solutions and the willingness to work together, we can change the world.
And it's interesting this concept of Jesus, because I've always sort of been very far removed from it because in my dabbling in religion, all that's very on and off. But this guy I met today, he needed some help with his Wi-Fi and his speaker. I couldn't believe it took me 3 hours to figure this shit out. But he was telling me about Jesus and the way that he changed his life, it healed him and all this stuff. And he is like almost 80 years old. He looks like he's 50.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, man, I should look into this Jesus guy.
You should. Seriously, that doesn't surprise me. I actually feel that we are at this time, and those who actually align with the true energy and the quality of God, there's something timeless. I've noticed that people are older and they look younger. There's more and more older people that look a lot younger these days.
Think you can fix my bald spot if I find Jesus? Maybe I could get rid of the bald.
What's funny, Landry, is that's my prayer.
Well, you don't have it.
Well, my hair's definitely thinning, and
Dude, you got like a round. I've already got the triangle.
You are much younger than me as well.
I'm like
so
half
I
your
get
age.
it. I get it. Thank you. Well, I haven't looked into it, but I heard of a brand called Keeps. It's something for, I think, men's hair. It might just be for hair, but I saw it advertised to men for those who are dealing with thinning and baldness. I haven't looked into it because it hasn't been a priority for me. But
Interesting.
Landry, if we can, my dream, right? Make something happen. There are technologies available here and now. I hope to get my teeth repaired. I hope to get my vision maybe improved, maybe improve my hair. All sorts of things are possible, man. I just got to connect me with the right people and the right resources, right?
Amen to that. And we definitely know how to find the wrong people. I'll tell you that. So
They find us.
they don't find us, dude. They cling for dear life.
Holy cows, man. I've been trying to figure that out for myself. Why is it like that? And more so, why am I entertaining it? What the hell is wrong with me?
Well, it's a part of your culture here. Like, right? Imagine if this was a
Yeah.
workspace. If this is the Jack Talcott workspace, your culture is like inclusivity and all that. A makeover. Hey, dude, I'll travel to DC for that. I mean, a makeover.
Yeah. This is true too. Guilt and shame, they're not chains. God, that's pretty insightful. They are teachers, but those teachers, man, they will weigh us down if we don't recognize them. I carried guilt and shame for years. Prophets invite us to learn, make amends, and move forward with integrity and compassion, freeing the heart for growth rather than punishment. That's the path. The path of forgiveness. It's the message from Jesus. It's all throughout so many different ways, right? Forgiveness is a miracle that we can share with ourselves and others.
It's so big. It's such a big, important thing. People hold on to things for dear life. And I run into this issue often where I think it might be even problematic to do what I do, which is just it's also poor memory. I forget and I forgive pretty easily. I will definitely choose who I want to spend more time involved with. That's anyone can have the right to do that. But like sometimes, like even yesterday, Moose was bringing up stuff about I had no idea. I couldn't if I like gun to my head, true or false, I wouldn't know. I could not remember for the life of me what he was talking about. But he's still holding on to it like it just happened yesterday. And it's not just him. That's just the most recent example. But many people in this world, I mean, I've done it before, probably, but definitely not as. It's one of my strengths. I think is I can really let go.
That is good.
Yeah.
Although, as you're mentioning that, I recognized my own guilt. I've done it with you. I've done it with Moose. I've done it with many others. I carry shit, right, without finding forgiveness. Part of it, though, is with what you said. I've been getting better at letting it go and forgetting. But part of it is, if it's not been reconciled, we're kind of enabling poor behavior.
That's true.
Right. And that's where I've had inner conflicts with. Should I forgive and let go, or should I try and bring some sort of accountability? And our arguments happen when we're trying to bring accountability, I think.
Yeah, I think so. When it's like a ritual, like, oh, come here, we're going to hold X person accountable for Y.
Yeah. Yeah. Regarding what you were saying with Moose, I think I joined that after you were there. After you visited,
I was there like 15 minutes. I felt like we were having a good dialogue. It was like going, me and him were like, this is, one-on-one. It's always, I think, ideally, if there's a problem, really the best way to solve it is one-on-one. Even if it's here, obviously this is public, people can hear this. If it helps them, great. But, we were talking and I felt like it was going just perfect. And then, people get brought back up and say, well, Landry, actually, hold on a minute. My opinion about the two of you. It's like, well, are you the two of us?
Right. Yeah. Lots of outside opinions want to be heard and want to be involved. And I think that's part of this atmosphere that we found ourselves in, the online thing. This is truly an experience I have never encountered in my life, but the technology didn't exist when I was young, So we're developing with humanity as it changes. I do believe sincerely. I could be entirely wrong, but if I'm right, we do have the opportunity. We just got to get the right people involved, and then we're going to change the world, and we're going to rewrite the rules, and then everything's going to be hunky dory. It's going to be just perfect, man.
Fuck yeah. All right. Let's do it.
Yeah. It's just a matter of going for it. But if it's real, we are experiencing this shift, and it's not. I see so much evidence. Landry, on YouTube, right? I must have found, I don't know how many channels I found, but I found, rough estimate, just hundreds maybe. Small volume, small number channels, right? Low subscriber count like mine or less, and people with actual real intelligence talking about philosophy, consciousness, spirituality, health. There's so many people on a path using the technology to share knowledge. We are here at the time of awakening. And if we awaken for success together.
Did you happen to see recently? I had this conversation. I uploaded like a little tiny segment of it, a teaser. It was a vertical, but this guy were talking about these words: awoke and awake and
I
wake.
saw that.
I thought it was interesting. Yeah, I mean, the guy's got a lot of crazy opinions, but as far as words go, I love that stuff. I mean, are we cursing? We're cursing. What are we cursing?
I've had people, they refuse to say good morning. They say the
Oh, I'm not
grand
taking it that far.
rising.
I'm
and,
just, I don't know. I hear you though. Yeah, I'm not going to
um,
say. What did he say? Well, the word kid. I don't like that word. I've never liked that word, but
that as well.
yeah.
He said something about the wake, connecting awake to the wake of death, and I don't see it as that. I
It's
see it
kind
the
of what
other way.
Paul does, right? Like that language, sort of linguistic, like analogy, or not analogy, analysis.
Mhm.
But this is more law.
There's actually, I have found so many patterns, right? The words do connect. English, the English language is pretty clumsy, but at the same time, there's something mysterious about it, something perfect to it.
The rhythm.
It's become through, I mean, English is one of the later developed languages, as I understand, and that's a question I've always wondered. How the hell does a language get developed? Who creates it? You got to come up with an alphabet and then the spelling and the grammar and all of this stuff, but somehow these languages have been,
Yeah.
and we just find them. I mean, we come in. Since I was born in the US, I was given this language, and as far as I can tell, it served me. It served me well enough.
Muy bueno. Well, I like to pop in, keep it nice and fresh, and this is good. This is. I love this stuff, man. I love 15, 20 minutes. I don't know. I'm very not to toot my own horn, but I'm proud of how I've really tried to shift my time into space. I want to continue to do that. It's about intentionality. Cheers to you. Have a good rest.
Much love and respect to you. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate that. And that is pretty cool, kind of adapting and flowing to, well, I must admit, I am going to keep us going just for a few more minutes. I'm inclined to shut down, but part of my hope is to share us over to our friend Gabriel for his stuff that's starting up soon. So I'm kind of watching that in the background. I'm on the side. For those who may wish to join, the link is pinned to the top. I didn't pin it. I didn't mark it for myself. I like this too. Confidence about having faith in your own decisions and running with it. Having faith. Having faith. Faith is a topic that I didn't understand for a long time, and actually I'll invite, I mean, the idea just came to my mind, and I'm stumbling through it as I'm speaking, but the idea of perhaps having faith as a topic in the future, because it is something that I spent much of my life not understanding, not knowing, but it's directly tied to confidence. It really is. Faith and courage and confidence and peace and success. All of these things go together. It's one thing leads to another. But the ego mind, right? The mind that has been adapted and conditioned by memorization and punishment and all of this other stuff. The mind that has been conditioned with those things, actually, it creates expectations. And so it's interesting that you point that out, that faith could be an expected knowledge. Faith is the trust in things unseen. And if you take knowledge and you follow logic and you imagine one step into another and you think thoughts through, You don't actually see the physical evidence of that, but it is imagined, and you can have faith in that knowledge, the knowledge that is anticipated. But if you place expectations in there, that's where we can find our disappointment. But I do like that. Faith is in the knowledge, and that is where my trust is. I have absolute faith. I have absolute faith in the truth. For I know that the only thing that matters to me is what is real, what is true. If it's not true or if it's not real, why should I care? Take that attitude for you, please. If it's not real or if it's not true, why should you care? And as I'm saying that, I'm just remembering all the hours and hours I spent defending myself against false accusations. More evidence of Jack being a fool. But if it's not real and it's not true, let it not matter to you. Okay? Let only that which is true to be important to you, and allow yourself to be important to what is true, right? Because you can say all the things you want, but unless you follow through with you and you make sure your words are true, you investigate your words, you make sure that you're not spreading misinformation. You say you're going to do something, you follow through and you prove yourself true, and you make the truth be true with you. When you align you with the truth, there's not much to argue about, is there? Right? We don't have to fight when we can agree. And if we can see the same thing, if we can understand and cognitively agree to, or cognitively see what the other is seeing, and we may have a different perspective on the same thing, but if we can agree that this is the same thing and we just have different perspectives on the same thing, well, we don't have to fight about the thing. We can understand the different perspectives to get a to gain a better understanding of the thing that we're both seeing. If you allow what is true and what is real to be important to you, what is important, I think, is tied to love. Because anything we find to be important it's an aspect of love, right? We give a power to that thing. I'm trying to see, am I wrong in saying this? But I do feel that's true, because love and truth, those go together. And so what I found for myself, what helped me heal as a man, brothers and sisters, you want to awaken yourself to success. You want to awaken your heart and your mind to a greater life for you. Fall in love with the truth. Not your ideas of the truth, not your opinions of the truth, not someone else's truth, not someone else's opinions on the truth or ideas of the truth. Fall in love with the truth. Seek a more intimate relationship with the truth. Seek to become more with the real. What is real? Figure that out, right? What does more mean? Figure that out. You get to decide, each of us do. We all get to decide on our paths and in our own ways what is real, what is important, and what do we love. You align with your highest principles, which provides natural confidence because you act from integrity, not fear. Beautiful. Aligning with highest principles. Being principled in your actions. And I guess you got to define what that means too, but it would provide a natural confidence because you act from integrity. And when we can act with integrity, right, aligned with high values, high morals, right, strong principles, there's not much to fear. That's what I realized too, is that it's better to speak the truth and to be with the truth than to not. I'll accept the punishments, I'll accept the consequences, right, for speaking the truth. I'll accept the consequences for being wrong. But it's more important for me to speak the truth and to align with the truth than it is to try and preserve myself. Because if I got to hide myself from the truth and I survive away from the truth, I'm lost. I love that. John 17:17, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. And brothers and sisters, I actually do believe my interpretations of God and what God has given us through consciousness, through the mind, the power of logic and reasoning, rhetoric, language, all of these ideas between the mind and the heart. When we humble ourselves to be present, to be lovingly aware of who we are and what the world is showing us, we are with God. And when you are with God, when you submit to God, submit to the highest truth, submit to the highest love, the greatest love, you submit to the present moment and all that is, you align with the living truth of who you are. And see, it's said in the Bible, and I misquote it sometimes, but my words rhyme with what is the meanings I'm offering. It rhymes with what is in the Bible. But our God is known in the Spirit. It is through the truth, the Spirit of the truth. And if we align with the Spirit of truth, we become the living truth. And we are the living Word. And the Word is the truth until it's a lie. But through our words, what we offer, what we say, we're adding to the truth, and the truth brings love, or we're adding to the lies, and the lies bring divisions, and divisions bring fear. Fear brings suffering. Suffering brings misery. Misery brings hell. Do you want to live in hell, or do you want to live in heaven? Heaven is here for those who want it. Repent to know. It's the message from John the Baptist to Jesus, to many, many others. I love that. Love and acceptance. They are very good bedfellows. The two do go together. Because unconditional love is that divine power, divine force. It requires acceptance. It'll be persistent. Hey, my friend, thank you. The heart of the Lord. The heart of the Lord, it's with us all. When we humble ourselves truly, we all have these thoughts. We all have these feelings and ideas. Maybe we don't get the words, right? The words don't come to us. I didn't know these words of love and God and faith and all this stuff. I had no clue about that for many, many years. But then through my path, my seeking, my searching, God allowed me to find. And the things I found allowed me to find different words. But the words can create both empowerment and limitations, right? The words you choose, the story you tell yourself, that creates the identity of who you are. The story you tell yourself is the role that you're going to play. And like in that video we shared earlier regarding confidence, the role you play, the role you assign yourself, your identity, that's going to give you permission. With that permission, it's going to give you the either self-empowerment or the disempowerment. You'll either feel the confidence or you'll feel the anxiety. You'll feel the insecurity. So the story you tell yourself, the identity you tell yourself, the labels and the roles you identify to you, it creates the limits of you. So let those words fall away. Let the old ideas go. Let the worldly conditioning drop, just so that you can be present with who you are. And who you are at the deepest source. You are a divine child of God, made in the likeness of the divine, made in the image of God. And we were given a reflection of God in the story and the teaching and the example of Christ Jesus. So see yourself as him. See him as you. See him with you and be with him as you are each day. It really is this basic. Anyone can understand it. It's just a matter of accepting it. But if you can't accept it, how are you going to understand it? And if you don't want to understand it, you're not going to accept it. But if you can accept that a relationship with God is simple, then you can know that nothing prevents you from having it. And if you know that nothing prevents you from having an intimate, loving relationship with God, I mean, the creator of the universe, the intelligence behind the creation of the universe, that mind of brilliance is for you to know. And if you can, allow yourself to accept that that relationship is there for you, then you can find it. I'm sure that's what happened with me. I was allowed to find it. I love that, Ricardo. I will choose heaven over hell any day. You've got to believe that you can. You've got to believe that there is a choice. You've got to believe that you do have the option to choose heaven over hell. I didn't. For so long, I did not believe in heaven. I didn't believe in heavenly ideas. I didn't believe in love. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in a lot of things, man. I chose disbelief over faith. I had faith in my disbelief. How about that? I had faith in my disbelief, and as a result of my faith in disbelief, guess where I lived? Here on earth, I lived through hell. I went through hell. It was my own personal hell. There were many witnesses. I don't know if there was many with me, but there were many witnesses who saw me in my hell. Oh, I love that. The mirror of sacred stories reflects both who I am and who I can become. That mirror, man. This is what I was saying. From God's perspective, we are living through like this infinite cosmic light show. That's all we are. We're just light that has been slowed down and created more dense into these atoms and molecules. And then somehow there's an intelligence that forms those atoms and molecules together. And then somehow our atoms and molecules, they create these cells that become like human cells. And then the human cells carry around like bacteria and biology and viruses, and all sorts of stuff is inside of us and on top of us and around us. And we don't see it, right? We don't see all the stuff that's on us or in us or around us, but who we are, man, we are in the midst of sacred stories, being both who I am and who I can become. And in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, establishing his divine nature, pre-existence, before creation. And we are the creation. Okay? And that creation that began in the beginning, it brought us to where we are today. Christos, you might be in hell, I found heaven, dude. I'm trying to invite you to join me, but hey, you know better, Christos. You and Tommy, you know better. Fucking clown. Enjoy your hell, buddy. Hey, I'm just teasing. Christos, I'm glad you're here, man. Give my best to Tommy and others. And this, every act of compassion is a brick in the foundation of heaven on earth. I love it. Thank you for the wisdom that you guys are dropping and sharing for us. I truly appreciate it. Who do I trust? Me, that's who. So God let me destroy everything I touched until I couldn't even do that. Amen. Guys, I just had folks join in the back and I'm literally shutting down. I'm going to rate us over to NPC, the game. He's kicking up on his nominations for the upcoming Streamer of the Year awards. And so, folks, brothers and sisters, thank you all who tuned in, who joined, who were a part of today's fun. I do hope you found some inspiration, some encouragement, some ideas. Talked about a lot of different ideas: consciousness, presence, love, confidence, awakening, world change, success, and many more things. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to send us over to our friend. And if you raid over, please do make sure and subscribe over there to Gabriel Carbo Gaines, NPC the game, and share some support for the work he and others are doing for the award show that's coming up. From there, though, I think it's time to wrap up. Brothers and sisters, thank you again. Till next time, choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God bless us all. Peace.